Landon and friends talking. You'll never know who's on next. Creative ideas are brewing from every single guest. So listen and learn along, don't worry, we're almost done with the song. So wherever you're at, put your troubles aside and sit on back, cause here comes Landon Live.
Well, hello guys, my name's Landon Harvey. Welcome to Landon Live. Today we are at the Ventriloquist Convention 2022, and we have the ever-amazing Nina Conti. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
So I've recently watched and then rewatched Her Master's Voice, which is absolutely, I've been a fan of your work for quite some time, and then seeing this was fantastic because I grew up on these videos of the Ventriloquist Convention. Yeah. And so seeing your perspective going into this and kind of flowing through it, what was the drive that made you create that?
Well, that really came from having a legacy of puppets. A man I was close to, Ken Campbell, who was a theatre director, left me some puppets in his will. And there's something really like a gift after death is always going to have some kind of punch to it, you know?
Sure.
And when it's all these semi-beings and they're very kind of glassy-eyed and looking at you like, what now? I mean, that was the drive. It felt like the beginning of a story, and I thought, well, these guys have to go somewhere. And then I got wind of the Vent Haven museum, and I thought, well, I've got to go. I'm going to take these guys there, take them on an adventure. And Ken was always about me sort of doing things on my own.
Sure.
Not pitching to TV shows and things. Just do what you want and do it now, do it yourself.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, well, okay, I'll learn how to use the camera, and so off I went.
That's wonderful. So do you use any of his characters that he's passed on to you currently?
Not really,
or
not
have
anymore.
they made their way?
I mean, who do I have? No, I was just thinking, it was interesting going to the dealer's room here and seeing all those puppets and thinking, I've been lazy in terms of characters. I've got my guy, I've got Monkey, and I really can't kind of top him. It's hard to start other relationships with other puppets.
Sure.
It's just, we all have our favorites. But there was the granny, and I still do have the granny. And I bring her out sometimes. People are always asking for her as well. I feel terrible. She's just sort of crumpled in a bag under the stairs, and she needs an outing, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, how you can have a feeling of obligation to a puppet is peculiar. That's part of the madness has already started.
There's that connection that's there, and then it summons you to bring it to the stage.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good character?
Something about honesty, I think, in puppets, which is great. They're far more honest than people because they don't have the social mores. But I think when the puppet says the thing that everybody's thinking, that's what I think makes a good character or makes a good puppet. They're not going to let an awkward moment slide. They'll call it.
Sure.
And so for me, that's what makes them different from the rest of us and makes them interesting.
That's wonderful. So for Her Master's Voice, how much was pre-planned out versus, you just deciding I'm gonna go out there, we're gonna film as much as possible, and we'll see what happens?
Well, I knew I had in mind that I was going to take a puppet there, but I wasn't quite sure which one. I knew I was going to donate a puppet to Vent Haven, and I had a notion of some of the things that I might end up talking about in the night.
Sure.
Because it was always like in the night I make these video diaries with the puppets, and because all the footage just kind of went into my pocket privately, I didn't have to worry about handing it over, and I think that gave a kind of liberation to the conversations I was having. I don't know. I was in a panic. I set out to make a film, and then I remember the convention's only sort of 3 or 4 days long, and it was halfway through already, and I hadn't got anything. I hadn't got any footage, no, and I was just in a panic, and I remember I got up 5 a.m. one morning and went to one of those little business rooms with a computer in it and sort of wrote out a schedule and thought, come on, you've really got to get with it. This is going to be over, and you won't make it. But
Well, what I love about it is you talk about like the honesty of the puppet on stage, and there's such an honesty within the film, and such a real, like, just from the point of view watching as a ventriloquist, and the struggle and the back and forth. And one of my favorite scenes is after you perform on the show and you kill, you annihilate, and you do amazing, and then you're walking back to your room and you're twirling the monkey with your hand, and it's just like it's so beautiful because you just brought him to life, and then you're just bringing them back and on to the next thing.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. There's in psychoanalysis, there's a term for a transferred object, and it's like kids with their teddies. Like they can punish them and throw them at the wall or do whatever they want, but should a friend do the same thing? It's like, that's a complete invasion. And I'm a bit like that with Monkey. I don't treat him with any ceremony. He's in a bag now, you know.
Right.
He's always like up there with the lipsticks and the keys and everything. There's no respect. But when somebody says, can I put him on? And you go, oh,
You're like, ugh.
I don't know how that's going to make me feel. I know I have to work on this, but it's going to make me feel weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that occurs in every ventriloquist, or mostly the working ones that have developed and gone back and forth with this character and really performed?
I don't know. Yeah, I would. You mean with puppets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably. I mean, it's a bit like, can I try on your hat, isn't it? It's still a bit like, well, you can, but it's not
like that, but a bit more
favorite.
personal.
Yeah, it's not my favorite idea. Yeah.
Wow, well, that's wonderful.
But it was a very kind of important time, whenever that was. Almost 10 years ago.
So was the car scene at all in that film difficult for you, or because
No,
you had the?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No.
Wow.
I mean, should it happen, and that monkey is the only article, you know, of himself. I mean, there are others, you know. We all know we've all got secret duplicates, but
Sure.
yes, if that was the one monkey, that totally would be my reaction. So I was sort of channeling what my reaction would be. When I was a brand new ventriloquist, and I'd only just done some gigs, but I managed to get a job in Austria at a festival, and he got lost on the plane because I was stupid enough to check him in, and so yeah, I did cry in the airport in Austria because I thought I'll never find him again. I just found him from a friend. I didn't know where to get him in a shop, and I was like, he's gone now. That was something really promising. I had a good thing with that monkey, and he's gone now. And it was horrible. It did make me cry. But then I managed to find another one. But that one never came back.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was quite hard. I had to phone toy stores. This was before the internet. I had to phone toy stores all around Britain saying, you don't happen to have a little monkey in a safari suit? And there was like one left, and I drove, and I got it. I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I've got a career again.
Wow. That's good.
I'm going to take this off because I can hear it jangling. But I mean, it would have been like, you know, when they have to do those criminal drawings, I would have had to say, he's like a monkey, but he's not that realistic. I can't imagine how I would have had to design him from memory again.
Wow. Well, the film is so great, and then, you know, being a ventriloquist and being part of the community, you know, the film feels like a giant, like an inside joke almost, because you know everyone that goes to the convention.
Right, yeah.
So seeing you interact with these people, and then seeing the car scene and just it's what amazes me is how much emotion you can get out of just the simplicity of a monkey.
Oh, his
face being
so basic.
Just him panning to the camera.
Oh yeah, right.
You know, is fantastic, and you do the same thing with him on stage, which is just beautiful. Is building it up and then pausing and then having him stare directly in the eye.
This is intuitive, my manipulation of him. I'm not really very good. I had and also it's very much projection. Once people like the character, they can project sadness, happiness, whatever onto them, and it's just like the slightest glance. But I did an audition for Star Wars, and I had to meet real puppeteers who told me how to sort of keep a kind of buoyancy and breathing and keeping it like it was beyond me. And they gave me puppets to try and a screen to watch. I was like, I can't do it, just give me that little guy, you know? It's a real skill.
Crazy. Wow. So you talk about projecting personality onto a puppet. You know, if you were to define Monk's, what is his?
Monkey's personality is very in the moment. There's not much consistency to it.
Okay.
It's mischief. I look at him and I think, good Lord, I was going to say something awful.
Sure.
And I very much try not to predict what it is. So tonight's going to be interesting when I do a demo of my heart. It won't. There's no script.
There's none whatsoever tonight.
No script. I'm totally off book these days. I don't do any scripted work. So it's kind of a high wire act, and so I rely totally on the personality that I see in his face, and it's difficult to describe it because he's kind of he's my id or whatever. He's like my naughty side, all that obvious stuff.
Right.
But he's also my higher mind, and he's also if I push it too far and I'm making him say things that are a bit edgy or whatever, he looks at me like, I'm not that bad, and you're making me say these things.
Sure.
And you're sick,
Sure.
and you need to work on yourself.
Yeah, and then you break the illusion to the audience and you remind them that you're the one talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. But it's when I've gone too far, I just think, okay, yeah, no, Monkey, you're right. You're better than this.
Has that ever happened? You know, where
Great.
there's a certain circumstance where you maybe went too far with him?
Yeah, he always does. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I live on
Alright.
that brink. And I kind of find that interesting, especially when it's in this unaccountable realm of it not being a real thing and not really being me, and it's just saying the thoughts that occur and then managing the situation as you go with apology or with whatever. But if it's occurring in my head, the things he says, there's no way it wouldn't occur in other people's heads. It just maybe wouldn't get vocalized, and then I think you have to work it out. But my aim is never to insult, actually.
So is
Truth be told.
it through all of those shows that you've become comfortable in just letting him roam free on stage?
Yes.
And I mean, and trusting your instinct with a character?
I've found the dividends of a non-scripted act are bigger,
Okay.
and they're in the moment and they respond to the room. Also keeps it fresh, and I don't get tired of doing it. And yes, I sort of think even something, I don't know, even less impressive lines, when they're real and in the moment, they sing out more and they're more likely to get a laugh. So I never go write it down and think, oh, I'll do that. Occasionally, obviously, I keep some lines if they're funny. I might do the same thing again, but I don't write down things. Yeah, which is a shame, actually. It's all gone. I forget everything.
That's amazing. I don't know anyone else that has that approach currently to their show. So is the current show that you're doing, is that the dating show? Or is
Doing a dating show
Okay.
in London, yeah, and I'll be doing it in New York in October.
Okay.
But I don't. It's not really got anything to do with dating.
Oh, really?
No, I thought, oh, this will be a TV format. I'll do these dates and make people date in the masks, and then the tyranny of having to be funny once the audience is in. The dating just goes out the window, and I'm just doing whatever occurs.
Sure.
And then
sure.
at the end, I go, oh, sorry guys, we didn't really get round to the dating.
But you're calling multiple people up and putting them in masks and having them interact? Is that
Yeah, they're sort of in kind of dating scenarios, but they're inappropriately matched, so they're just sort of chatting to try and find some common ground.
Oh, that's
Because
hilarious.
there's no...
Right, finding funny in the awkward.
If I had a proper system, but it's run by a monkey. Imagine Tinder being run by a monkey.
Oh, wait.
You know, when you're going to put this person with that, but that's not what they wanted at all. But whatever, come on with the show.
Wow, that's wild. So what? So you don't have any script. You go out there. Do you have an order to the characters you bring out?
I do. I tend to start with 2 and then I go to 3. Or no, actually, that's not true. Whose show am I talking about? On mine. I do a bit of crowd work with the monkey at the beginning. Whoever the audience responds to the most, who they like. It's sort of self-selecting. You think, okay, I think they want to know more about her. They were listening and they were laughing. So, and I'll get her up, and then she'll maybe pick someone, and I'll get that. So it just builds, and I try not to get in the way. I try not to impose my way on it, and just narrate what naturally is happening, and let it grow from its own little ecosystem.
Absolutely.
And it's so hard. You have to really, really stop yourself from controlling. Because the minute I do, it's never as funny. It seems preconceived. I think, oh, that guy. You know, or I'll look at through the audience from behind in the wings, and I think, oh, yeah, put that person with that person. And then you're just like, you're enforcing your will, and you're not listening anymore, and you're not responding to what's happening. So, yeah, woe betide anytime I try and enforce my preconceived ideas.
Yeah, but that's fascinating. So did you learn, I mean, is this just from all the shows that you've done and figuring that this works best for you, or was this through your mentorship with Ken, or?
I think Ken had something to do with it. He also had he had a huge belief in improvisation, and it's kind of a dirty word in theatre now. It's as dirty as ventriloquism.
Yeah.
You know, I've taken 2 uncool art forms. But yes, he definitely liked improv, but to a very high standard. He was like, there's no point in doing it unless it's better than the stuff people have written. And he started a long time ago this troupe called the Showstoppers, and they improvise musicals.
Okay.
And they improvise a new musical every night, and they are extraordinary. So kind of hanging out with them and watching them and everything, I guess I thought, I'll let go of my script.
Sure.
I mean, it wasn't hard. It wasn't much of a script. For years, I didn't even have any act. You know, I used to have the monkey doing something dreadful to a pint glass. I mean, there was no script in that.
So you actually felt freed when you left, having to worry about
Yeah.
memorization or anything like that? To a
Yeah.
degree?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
But I had to do a tiny bit at a time, and I encourage anyone to do that. Just do
Sure.
a tiny bit every time. Don't panic. If it doesn't work, stay in the moment. You know, respond to it, and just keep going. Keep real. Don't lie.
Sure.
You know, that's a thing that Stephen King says about writing. If you lie, people stop reading. You know, for your characters, if you're making them say things they wouldn't say, it sort of doesn't work. So. Yeah, you got to kind of keep an honesty with you.
So like maybe for beginners or people that don't realize yet, how do you recognize if your character on stage is being perceived as lying?
They just won't laugh.
Okay.
The audience will just go,
Oh, it won't.
he wouldn't have said that. You broke it. You somehow broke
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Won't click right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, you probably do that in your own videos when you're just making stuff for, not for stage, but you know, just content for
Sure.
YouTube
Social
and whatever.
media.
Yeah. I mean, I find all the conversations like that have kind of life to them. That's really nice and honest, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, that's the stuff I intend on growing rather than.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been doing these live streams on TikTok for a couple hours a night, just as practice for me and a way to engage with an online audience, and to keep the character alive and fresh during COVID is because I didn't have any shows.
Yeah.
And so I actually birthed a couple characters through the live streams, and then when I got them to the stage, they were kind of refined.
Fantastic.
It allowed me to figure out kind of where I needed to go with them and how far I could go with them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And bizarre. Where do you draw inspiration from?
That's different all the time. So I don't think I have one big answer for that. I mean, I'm always just looking for things that are interesting. Today I saw a David Bowie clip of him saying, always work for yourself, never work for other people, because try and remember what it was that brought you to this, and you felt like there was something in you that if you could manifest it, you would learn more about yourself. But if you're working for other people, you don't do that. So that's like today's inspiration. We're seeing here that little thing. I just thought that's gorgeous. Yeah, you mustn't think about what other people might want. You've got to do it for what you want it to be. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing, because especially in improvisation, with that you have to believe in yourself enough to go out there and do it, and then also take the feedback, but kind of take it with a grain of salt and know that every show is going to be different.
Yes, and at the same time as you're doing it for yourself, you've got to do it without your ego in a way. And so I'm not really talking about that yourself in terms of your selfishness, but more like what you might enjoy. Yeah. You got to leave yourself at the door.
Well, I saw on your YouTube channel you have some fantastic episodes of you and the monkey in therapy. What was the inspiration behind that? Was that something that happened during COVID, or was that?
Well, actually, Adam Megiddo, who plays the therapist, is a fantastic improviser, and he came through the Showstoppers and Ken Campbell also. So I knew him from that, and we wanted to do something together. And I don't know, it just seemed like a natural thing to try with him as a therapist.
Sure.
I forgot your question. What was it made us?
Just like when what was the inspiration? Was that scripted at all, or was that also kind of just improvised and seeing where it went? Because it has a great crescendo to it at the end.
Oh yeah. I know. Well, I surprised him with that. I didn't have that in mind, but I surprised him with that on the final one. That really just went. He led it like a psychoanalyst would. I mean, I think he was married to a psychoanalyst, so he wasn't ignorant of the whole art form of psychoanalysis.
Okay,
he knew enough.
Right.
And so I just kind of went for it as if it were me turning up for therapy with the monkey. What would happen?
Yeah.
Dreadful. And I do have an analyst in real life, but I've never taken a monkey in. But I've got this very, really secret desire that what would happen? She doesn't want me to. She thinks it would just be me back to my act. But I think I know, but that's me.
You're like, you might have filmed this real quick for content. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, I mean, it would almost just be too much. It would be very intense to
Sure.
go into real therapy. Something, the room would be vibrating. Oh, God.
Wow. So what did you do? Especially COVID was difficult for everyone, and with a ventriloquist, it's even more rough because you've got all these voices and all these ideas and all these characters that are now suppressed. So how did you deal with that?
It took me a while, actually. A lot of comedians that I work with made the transition quite quickly to Instagram or whatever. Just started doing that. But I was so involved with the audience and the work I was doing on stage. It was all to do with the audience participation and not just talking to them, but getting them up and handling them and putting masks on their faces. And I mean, it was so touchy. I was just like, that's never going to come back. I've been barking up the wrong tree all these years doing something that I'll never be able to do again. So I felt uniquely suppressed by that. I thought, okay, well, and then it took a little while, and then I thought we have to just go back to monkey. I'll just do mainly monkey. And then I started to enjoy the Zoom gigs after a while.
Yeah.
And I started to find the audience through the camera and into their homes and talk, Monkey was spent a lot of time looking very, very close, like obscuring the whole screen. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's got, doing an online show has such a different tempo to it. And then just pausing for laughter is different when it's through Skype,
I know, it's really weird.
Very, very
You
bizarre.
don't pause, you just keep going, I think.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it very much live. I only do occasionally a live stream, but I very much want to start doing more of that. I'm just about to. But then always I think, just record it first and post it later. Yeah, no, I'm up for it. I'm going to do more of that soon.
So do you do, and to the same degree that when you have inspiration on stage to do an improvised bit or to talk to someone or to have the monkey say something, are you the same way in filming a piece of content?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's a huge difference, except there might be no one that I can see. I don't know, it depends. I mean, Facebook Live, for example. I don't know if it's, I'm a bit old. Happening Facebook Live.
I don't use it. I'm on TikTok, so I don't even. Yeah.
Exactly. I have a TikTok account. I have about 10 followers. But I've actually filmed some stuff for TikTok with the comedy company recently. So I'm about to unleash my stuff. But it's quite funny going on TikTok and think, okay, 400 people. Get a load of this. But yeah, I mean, if you're just getting written questions or whatever, I can't read and do it at the same time. I can't do it. I'll work on that skill.
Yeah.
In case there's another pandemic.
What is your favorite and or craziest travel story?
I might have told it. It was when Monkey got lost. Craziest travel story.
Yeah, or maybe or show story, or maybe a point where you got to perform somewhere or with someone or with a group where you're like, I feel like I've made it. I feel like this is.
Oh, like I've made it. I've gone to some peculiar places for rich people sometimes, and you don't know quite who you've performed for. You think, what was that? That didn't feel normal. Were they criminals? Was that
like you're in their living room or what?
Yeah, because the sort of private gigs sometimes they're a little bit discreet about who they are, and you don't want to, you show up, you don't know who they are, and then afterwards you think, I don't think they were good people. Yeah, I don't know. I was quite terrified. I performed for the Queen. That was a big gig. Monkey quaking.
I think that was improvised as well, or was
yes, to a point it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, even then.
Wow.
But no, I mean that's the weirdest travel, the ones that I just think, okay, that was either mafia or I don't know what that was. But I didn't feel safe, and I'm glad I'm out alive.
Well, that's wonderful. We've got Peter Michaels Jr. and Jeff Golds here in the room as well.
I know, and Jeff
our fantastic team here helping us out. Do you guys have any questions? I want to see. I mean, I'm having so much fun here. I wanted to.
I'm curious. you interviewed me when I was a youngster in
Yeah.
that same room, in that whole thing. What gave you the inspiration to do, and it's just comedically hilarious, but to do Monk like Jim Henson from below, yet do ventriloquism? The pan in the film.
Oh, you mean I'm sitting behind the chair with the monkey?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not at all a choice anybody would make. So I'm curious, it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Why do I not appear in shot?
Yeah, but what gave
Have
you
a bit
that
of a
idea?
rest
You
for my
do.
lips.
That's the thing is, you do appear in the shot.
Oh,
You
showing, I'm
pan
showing.
down.
Oh, yeah. I think I just enjoy revealing anything ludicrous that shows my commitment to the art form. I find it's just pulling back the curtain and seeing the man working the Wizard of Oz. That's for me the joy, and I like it. And I like all those discrepancies that make it seem ridiculous.
Sure.
The last video I made a phone call to Monkey on my hand, and then I was just thinking, how do I hang up when this isn't a phone and he's not even on the other end, but I have to bring it to a close somehow, and it ought to be like and then I just went, So those kind of things, I think, when you've bought into your illusion so much that it's ridiculous, you just have to cut it down at the root.
What is your advice for new ventriloquists and for working ventriloquists? And that could be two separate answers. Or that could be the same thing.
Just talk to the puppet a lot.
Okay.
I mean, talk to the puppet privately. Why not? I mean, we all get a bad rap for kind of being weird or talking to ourselves and all that stuff. But actually, it's an interesting thing, and it does pay to do it. And also, I think that splitting the monologue of your interior thinking into a duologue, you sometimes do just get a bit further with it becoming a conversation. You do actually reach extra thoughts. I mean, I suppose academics, when they're building an argument, they're kind of doing, well, that and that and that and that, so it's not that different. And I think that's probably where the gold lies. So lots of talking to your puppets.
Absolutely.
And trying not to think about how you'll get a laugh and what will make you an impressive ventriloquist, and look at that puppet and see what it looks like it's trying to say to you.
Wow.
Probably.
That's wonderful. Often with the monkey, you will call out. He'll call out your character on stage as compared to his for being bland. Is that something that is intentional, and has your character on stage in relationship to your puppets changed over the years, or have you just kind of explored it more?
Yeah, I think I'm just dabbling in the slightly less bland waters of who Nina could be. But I think I've subtracted from myself in order to highlight his personality a bit.
Sure.
And it's always seemed, I don't know, like an affable zookeeper or something. Sort of, I'm a bit weary. Oh dear, he's doing this. Well, it won't last long. Don't worry. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I am left with. I'm sort of just a companion who's unshockable but surprised all the time and very apologetic.
Right.
It's just a bass note. I've just gone for a sort of basic bass note. But when I look at us on stage, obviously I know the inner workings of my mind mean that Monkey is the true part of my thoughts, probably, and Nina's the construct for society. So, yeah, I think Monkey's more likely to speak my truer inner thoughts.
I had seen in a clip you talking about how during one of your shows you have it where you become the monkey and you actually put on a suit.
Yes.
Of him.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
Yeah, that's gorgeous, because you're kind of cutting out the middleman, and
Sure.
I work in comedy. Like I don't really work a circuit with ventriloquism or cabaret or anything. I'm in stand-up clubs and everything alongside comedians, and so I think there was part of me that was thinking, I don't feel like a real comedian because I've got a prop.
Okay.
And so I would have a bit of a chip on my shoulder about that and sort of feel like lesser, like here I am turning up with my teddy and all these people are integrated in themselves. All they need is a mic and they get to say all the things, but I require this weird limb. And so rather than putting the monkey away and sending Nina on stage alone, I thought, that's the wrong way around. It's the monkey that needs to go out there. So I got rid of myself. And I did an improvised hour in the suit, and it was hot. And I had to lower my breathing and my whole sort of inner tempo, like I was going on like a deep sea diver, you know, those sort of people that don't go down with any gas, they just go down. I thought, okay, this is going to be an hour in here. I have to be very low yogic, Nina.
Gosh.
And I submersed myself. I really enjoyed it. Monkey was kind of slow. He was quite slow, but he was coming out with zingers, and I was thinking, I can do stand-up. But I can't. I'm still not as me. It still takes a prop.
It's so fascinating. Yeah. Versus being behind the puppet, you're in it now. Yeah. Wow.
No, it really was. It was a revelation. And as hard as it was to breathe and everything, and to see, and the temperature was insane, it kind of felt like my happy place. I got to be him completely.
So was this, when you are in this costume, is this like a self-reflective type comedic bit, or are you still engaging with the audience and talking to people?
Yes, I was talking to people. I was crowd surfing.
How do you do that in a how do you see out? And I mean, I'm sure that you had to adjust and to figure out, how do I need to move his head so I can see out? And
I know. Well, I mean, while I'm in there and I'm just full monkey, you know, I'm monkey will say, you know, let's crowd surf. And
sure.
I'm thinking, oh, dear me, it's not safe to crowd surf a sitting audience, but okay, all right, whatever it is he wants, and I would do it, and I wouldn't do that. I really wouldn't do that. So it's kind of a superhero costume but just a really impractical one.
But it's his entire face that covers yours.
His whole face inside, yeah. There's a kind of armature inside that goes on my face, and his face sits outside, so the eye holes are a little bit far away.
Okay.
And that's what I'm breathing through, and I can just about see. But I think it was a really interesting experiment. But the thing was, the audiences miss Nina. I was like, really?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting because you present the dynamic of you and him back and forth. And then I was going to say, like, the first time that you presented that on stage, what was that like? Was it...
What, me and him? Or
right.
when I was
you in the costume
him?
after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it was interesting without Nina. I just had to keep going forward. It was stand-up.
Sure.
It felt much more like stand-up.
Wow.
So it was very new. And then Monkey was kind of angry when somebody said, "Where's Nina?" I almost sent him out. Monkey almost sent him out. Like, that's not what this show is. You want Nina to go to a different show.
Yeah.
This is not that. So, it was really, really...
Fully taken over. Wow.
Fully taken over.
I love that. So your last convention that you had attended was
a while ago.
Was that for Her Master's Voice when that was done? Or was that...
No, one after. Or maybe the one after that.
It was 2011, I think. It was. You came back like 2 or 3 years after.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I had a baby. So that tells me it was 10 years ago, I think.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
What does your
What's
kid
my
think
kid?
about what you do?
I don't know. I have an 18-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Okay.
I think they're all right with it. It's
Yeah.
interesting enough of a job that they're all right with it, but they're not lining up to become ventriloquists themselves. I think they will be actors or something.
Oh, cool. Okay. Wow. So what's it like being back at the convention? Is it interesting?
It was a little bit. I mean, it took me a while. I only dipped my toe in yesterday. I was just, I was kind of hiding in my room. I gotta go out there.
Yeah.
But now I'm enjoying it very much.
Sure.
I'm gutted that there are no puppets in Venthaven.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so excited to go there. But
The museum looks good.
But it looks good, and it's gonna be great next year when I'm not here. It's gonna be great.
Well, what are your hopes for the future of ventriloquism?
It's not something
It's a very
I
question.
naturally ruminate on.
Sure.
But I hope, I dream of a world where every serious politician and everything has a puppet on that says what they're really thinking.
Sure.
Sure. Let's go big with that dream. I want it to change the world.
Yeah, something to be taken about the honesty.
The
Of the
honesty,
performance.
even whether it's how grotty your soul is, let's have it on display, and let's all stop pulling the wool over each other's eyes, And it also brings out like the kind part of people. So yeah, I mean, I hope that ventriloquism will continue to develop. I loved Celia, the Spanish ventriloquist,
Yes.
who does that act without a puppet. I thought it was fantastic.
Yes.
I've just seen that. I hope people will continue to do it, and that it'll stop having that sort of slightly old-fashioned. I always get asked in interviews what must say ventriloquism? And I hope it'll lose that stigma.
It's such a dead art, right?
Yeah. Especially in the UK, I think, more than here, because I think it's on the talent shows a lot here, and it's like, but it's still a bit hokey over there. And but then anyone who sees a ventriloquist show, they don't remember that it's ventriloquism. They're just having fun.
Mm-hmm. What would you say your legacy is that you're leaving in the art?
I don't know. It's like a
That's
terrible brand of self-exploration, psychoanalytical.
Constantly experimenting on stage.
Yeah, it's like, the troubled one. Yeah, I mean, I've delved deep rather than to try to deny that there's anything sort of peculiar about it. I've really gone fully for whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent so many years inhabiting this other character, really from part of me. It's not just a character, it's really part of me. So it's a very unusual relationship. That monkey is something now. It's sort of grown into a kind of nether being, which is not. It's not that it's not real. So you make all the jokes all the time that's not real. It's kind of become real.
Right.
I mean, obviously that puppet has no veins, but it's a thing in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially when he's your work colleague for so long and you're doing online content and shows, and then the improvisation, which just adds another truth to it in the relationship and just structures that even more.
Yes.
Wow, that's absolutely phenomenal. Where can people find you online?
Online, well, the usuals. TikTok soon. Please watch me.
Yes,
on that.
follow.
I've made
follow
401 followers
on
on TikTok.
Fantastic.
And yes, I do Instagram quite a lot, probably. But YouTube.
Okay.
But I never say subscribe. I never remember to say subscribe. So I still get, my videos get a lot of views, but comparatively speaking, nobody's subscribing.
They gotta subscribe, they gotta like the video, and they gotta turn post notifications on.
Okay, good, okay.
All those three.
I've got to learn to say that at the end of every video.
Yes. Or have the monkey say it.
Yeah, the monkey say it.
Well, what's your app on social media? Is it
Nina Conti.
Nina Conti?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Nina, thank you so much for taking the time and being part of Landon Live. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Landon.
All right.
Carry on your greatness, and you guys.